Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hello Velocity podcast, where we help corporate women level up without burning out. I'm your host, Brittany Canaski, leadership coach and trainer here at Hello Velocity. Today, we're continuing our conversation about confidence, and this time we're going to take a look at how different relationships and the people around us can influence our confidence and what we can do about that. So confidence is something that we're all continually working on. It's an ongoing process. But I hope you'll notice now from this season that there are so many ways that confidence can actually be in our own control. And there's plenty of things that we do and how we relate to people around us that can influence our confidence. So I know personally, my confidence wouldn't be where it is today about myself and my business if it weren't for the people around me. And I've intentionally built a beautiful community of people who are there to support me, who believe in me, who can talk me off a ledge, who can give it to me straight, who can see my future vision even on the days when I don't see it, and who truly see me at my core and what I'm here to do and are there and able and willing to support me along the way. So I want to support you and be part of your community so that you can build your confidence as well. And part of that here is today by thinking about how you can shift your relationship to confidence based on the people you surround yourself with. And it feels so fitting for the season to be talking about this too, because it sort of feels like this whole season of bringing on different experts talking about confidence. This was my intention all along, is to provide you all these different resources, all these different people, all these different tips that they're providing to be part of your community of support, of confidence, so that you have multiple resources to go to when you need specific areas to think about confidence and how you want to show up in the world. And I want you to remember that you're not alone in this. You can have people there to support you. You don't have to do it all alone. There are so many different people and resources out there to support you and different ways to look at it too. I know everyone's journey is going to be different. That's why I have so many different people and different topics that we're looking at this from this season. And a lot of these are themes that I've had to work on myself throughout my confidence journey in my professional career, going back 15 years at this rate. And it's something that's ongoing today. So I've noticed my confidence evolve in different phases of my professional journey. And we've probably talked about this in previous episodes too, but it's worth reiterating that your journey is unique to yourself and your confidence journey is going to continue to evolve. It's going to ebb and flow depending on what you're working on, depending on what you're focused on. And it could be as you're taking on a new role, you're going to take a hit on your confidence just because it's something new. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing it. It doesn't mean that you can't have confidence doing it. It just means you might need to think about how your confidence evolves over time too, and considering how your relationship to confidence is going to change over time, depending on your roles, your promotions, different people that you're working with. So the topics we're going to cover today are 3 core ways that I see that people are influenced by those around them when it comes to confidence. And I see the traditional or the typical route that most of us go, kind of the automatic knee-jerk reaction to these relationships. But then also I'm going to give you, of course, a new and empowering way to look at it instead. So our first key area where I see people being negatively influenced by their confidence based on the people around them is when it comes to jealousy. And what I want you to focus on instead of jealousy is inspiration. So let me walk you through how this typically goes. I see this all the time in that when you see someone else who is successful, they're doing something maybe you want to be doing, or they're maybe a few steps ahead of you in the process, and they are somewhere you would love to be, but maybe don't see how you can get there yet, or you're just not there yet. And you or someone around you may respond with, "Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. Oh, I wish I was there. Oh, that sounds so nice. Oh, it must be nice to have that. Oh, it must be nice to be there." Things like that, right? That sounds familiar? This language has become pretty normal in our day-to-day lives, and I find it honestly disempowering for both you as a person saying it and the person receiving it, because it's almost belittling the other person's success and achievements by saying, "Oh, it must be nice." It's almost as if you're blaming luck for them getting what they've wanted or achieving what they have. And then for you, it's also disempowering because this language makes it sound like you could never be there, or you're so frustrated that you're not there yet. And it makes you not appreciate where you're at today in your own journey, in your own progress to get there, or wherever it is that you want to be. what I really want to emphasize here when it comes to jealousy is that just because someone has what you want or wish you could have doesn't mean that you can't have it. Just because someone else is there doesn't mean that there's also not a seat for you as well. So some ways to shift this language and shift how you think about jealousy is instead when you find yourself maybe saying one of those examples earlier of, oh, that must be nice, of, oh, I wish I was there, oh, I'm so jealous. Maybe instead think, first of all, if you're in conversation with someone and your gut reaction is to say that, what if instead you said, wow, that's incredible. Wow, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. First, let's start with language like that to encourage them, to celebrate them, and be excited for them instead of shutting it down so quickly. And then we want to shift our thoughts and our mindset to be, wow, how can we be inspired by this? How can we learn from this person? And how can they be a guiding light along my journey of someone I want to look up to along the way, or someone I can maybe reach out to for support along the way? Another piece that's so important here when it comes to jealousy is that a lot of times when you're triggered like this by someone else, it's worth looking at them and yourself to say, okay, what is it about them that's triggering me? A lot of times you'll be able to pinpoint there's something about them that really gets to you, that really seems to bother you. And I want you to think about how you feel about yourself when it comes to that quality. So some examples here I see is that maybe you're feeling jealous because someone's getting a lot of attention. Well, what's your relationship to attention? Are you mad that you don't seem to get as much attention as you'd like? Or you hate getting attention? So really, most of the time it comes back to you, and it's something that you can't be with yourself, that you need to be working through on your own. And essentially you're just projecting this onto someone else. So again, instead of jealousy, we want to look at all of this from an angle of inspiration. How can we be inspired by these people? How can we learn from them? How can we continue to move forward on our own journey and be excited by our own path and know it's going to be different than other people's? And even thinking about what makes you different from this other person that you're jealous of, and celebrate that about yourself. And maybe that's your secret sauce. Maybe that's your superpower that will differentiate you and make you stand out in a crowded place. Another way I see our confidence being impacted by those around us is this constant need for competition in our society, especially in the corporate environment, instead of focusing on collaboration. So this is something me and my friends say all the time, is collaboration over competition. Is that we will go further together than we will on our own or competing against each other. And I think our society really encourages, or at least normalizes, competition between women in the corporate environment. And I can see that there's probably a lot of beliefs around it that are kind of feeding into this, of this idea of maybe subconsciously women are thinking, oh, there's not enough seats at the table for women. So if some other woman gets a seat, then that means there's not one for me. Or maybe this idea that we're trying so hard to fit into the boys' club that we tend to distance ourselves from other women, or we feel like we're competing against them for the attention of the boys' club. And of course, there's naturally going to be some amount of healthy competition in the workforce, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing entirely. I'm saying that there are times when it goes too far and it feels like a really me versus them entire mentality, that we're constantly competing with every woman in the room or every one of our peers. And I think a lot of people can really hold themselves back from that, and they tend to distance themselves and think that they have to do everything alone, and they put so much on their shoulders. And we could go so much further by learning from each other, by collaborating, brainstorming, and there's so much we can learn from each other if we can only open those doors and open those windows of opportunity with one another and hold space for each other. Because when we're putting each other down, when we're gossiping about each other, we're not helping anyone. We're not helping each other. We're not helping ourselves. We're probably making things a lot worse off for all of us. So instead, a few rules of thumb that I think would be really helpful for us to focus on in order to get to that place of open collaboration more consistently. First is no gossip. Gossip is going to hurt everyone involved. It makes you look bad when you're talking about other people, and obviously it makes other people look bad when you're talking about them. Just don't talk about other people behind their back, especially at work. If you see other people who are inspiring you, back to our previous note, reach out to them. First, even let them know that you're inspired by them, or you're excited for them, or you're congratulating them for what they've achieved, and then offer to buy them coffee or lunch. Don't say you want to pick their brain, because that is such an outdated saying, honestly, that usually has the receiving end feel like you're trying to get something from them or trying to learn their valuable resources for free or using their time for you without anything in it for them. So instead, offer to buy them coffee or lunch and come with really specific questions in mind of what you want to learn from them. And of course, be upfront that you want to learn from them, you're inspired by them, and you'd be so grateful for 30 minutes of their time to learn from their own experience. And hey, sometimes they may not have time, and that's okay, but even just putting that out there, putting yourself out there for them, can help inspire them, and maybe they'll come back around when they do have more time to have that conversation with you. And then the other way, look for younger women that you can reach out to mentor as well. How can you collaborate with them, learn from them, help teach them other things, and help bring them along in their own journey too? And maybe too, offer to buy them coffee or lunch and talk about their future career plans and how you might be able to support them along the way. And then just always think about how you can be building other bridges with other women, with other people you're working with. Who are the people you want to learn from? Who are the people that you're inspired by? Who are people that have common interests or similar passions as you or similar career aspirations as you, or they're just doing something you find really interesting that you don't know anything about and you would love to learn about? Reach out to them. Build different bridges. Build different mini communities within your larger communities. We all need more spaces where we can collaborate, come together, learn from each other, and inspire one another. And honestly, I think the world would be a whole lot better off if we always treated other women the way we do when we're in public restrooms. Honestly, I've never met so many hype women in a bathroom. I've never met so many supportive, thoughtful people who go out of their way to tell you if you have, tissue paper stuck to your shoe, or share a tampon with you when you need it most, or any of those moments. I swear it's the most warming conversations you might have in a bathroom with a complete stranger. But why is it always only in those very specific situations? Why can't we bring that warming, supportive, loving care to all different situations, and especially in the workplace? Like we could go a lot further if we always have the hype girl vibe of a women's restroom. My last key topic here about how to build your confidence based on the people you surround yourself with is about building your personal board of directors versus only taking advice from friends and family. This is personally my favorite topic today, and I will share it was inspired by a client who shared this idea with me that I'm part of her personal board of directors, and I hadn't heard that phrase before, and it just keeps ringing true in my head of how important this is to be really intentional with the people that you're surrounding yourself with, who give you advice, who are there to support you, who believe in your vision, like we talked about earlier. And I think a lot of times we normalize only reaching out to very close friends and family when we need support. And again, not saying this is wrong or bad, but I want you to be more intentional about who can provide the advice and support that you need, because there are going to be natural limitations with friends and family, right? Even thinking about their lived experiences, especially professional experiences, are likely going to be very different than yours. But also, they are going to be people who are looking out for your best interest for the most part. Obviously, everyone has very different relationships with friends and family, and there might be some nuances that can be very complicated, and there can be some things that are actually maybe not helpful for you. And, if your family always sees you as the youngest child, they may be more protective of you and may think that when you go do big, exciting, scary things, they may be nervous for you or scared for you and may caution you, where other people who have done that professionally may be able to give you more straight advice of, oh yeah, you could totally go do that thing, and here's some specific advice to do it so that it's not so scary. So thinking about the lens that your friends and family are coming from, a very protective, it can be very nurturing in a sense that sometimes it can be limiting. Or again, they just don't have those lived experiences or professional experiences that you need the support from. And also, a lot of times, on the other end, your friends and family may not call you out when you need it. They may be the people who are always supportive of you, and they are always saying, yes, you can do anything you put your mind to. and they don't call you out on your bullshit. And this is one of the honestly best things and differentiators of having a coach like myself, is that I can have your best interest at heart of I know this is your goal and what you're working towards, and I can call you out when you're doing all these things that aren't supportive of that goal, right? Where sometimes your friends and family get sucked into the bullshit. Honestly, I don't know a better way of saying that. They get sucked into it and they're like, yeah, you should totally try this other thing over here, this, shiny object. And, oh yeah, maybe something over here, you're right, that does sound interesting, you should focus on that. And they're likely going to go along for this ride with you, where someone like myself, a coach, can be more objective, neutral, third party to help reflect things back to you of, is this actually helping you or not? Is this going in the right direction? Or what other kind of support you need? So a coach is just one example of someone to be in your personal board of directors. For me, I also have my therapist in there who's been super helpful lately to work through more mental and emotional blockages that I've been having. And it's been very helpful for me to see things more clearly. And again, getting that objective third-party view of certain things that I'm working through has been really helpful for me to then move forward more quickly than when I, complain to friends and family about, these emotional challenges I'm going through. I get more of the, oh yeah, I know it sucks. I'm like, well, what are we going to do about it? How can I move through this? And then thinking about other mentors, like we've talked about already, different peers who maybe have gone through similar professional experiences you're going through, or people who, like your boss, or people who have been there before, can be really helpful in your personal board of directors. And then also mastermind groups are really helpful, especially for business owners. This is something I've been in a mastermind group for 5 years now. And we meet twice a month and we talk through our business challenges. We talk through any exciting wins and celebrations. And it's just so great to have a sounding board to talk through different challenges as they come up and celebrate with other people who are going through similar challenges, who are going through similar learnings, and we can bounce those ideas back and forth. So think about what different categories would be helpful for you for a personal board of directors based on your personal and professional goals, based on where you want to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years, who are the people you want to be learning from, and how can you intentionally curate those relationships. And again, it doesn't have to be as formal as saying, hey, will you be on my personal board of directors? But think about all the different things you want to learn and the buckets that you can kind of fill with different people, and how you can be proactive in nurturing those relationships, in communicating with those people proactively, in scheduling time with them to learn from each other, and of course, providing value to them as well. A quote that really sticks out in my mind when it comes to this topic too is from Brené Brown, where she mentioned, I only accept and pay attention to feedback from people who are also in the arena. And I think that really is like my bottom line here, is that if you're going to be in the arena doing something new and scary and daunting, you want to take feedback or advice only from other people who are also in the arena doing scary, hard things like that, or who have expertise in that area, or some sort of personal or professional experience in this area and can give you objective guidance, advice, or support. And another angle I like to think about when it comes to these personal board of directors, or whatever you want to call your inner circle, your community, your people, your tribe, think about having diversity in these groups. You want people that don't look like you, that are a different age from you, different gender, different races, ethnicities. This can be so important so that you don't have an echo chamber of people who have all the very same lived experiences as yourself. You want people who have different experiences, who have different perspectives, who can see things differently than you. It makes you able to learn new things a lot quicker and bounce ideas and get new ideas a lot quicker than you would from just a bunch of yes people who are similar lived experiences as you and won't see things differently than you. So of course, this might be hard to hear things so directly from people or getting that new perspective when it's different from your own, but it's a huge part of the learning process. So your next steps, think about who you want in your personal board of directors, who you want to learn from, who can support you, who can boost your confidence, but also who can tell you like it is. As we're wrapping up today, I want to reiterate how important this idea is of community, and that we're stronger together, and that we need to move past some of these mindsets that might be limiting our confidence, that might be holding us back from really connecting with other people who can support us and how we can support other people. And we need to stop making life so hard on ourselves, honestly. I think that's what all of these episodes keep coming back to, is that there are easier ways to do it. And a lot of times it comes back to connecting with other people. As always, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a quick like or review on whichever platform you're listening on. It really does help other people find the episode and in turn find the support that they're looking for as well. Again, we are not alone, and this could be a great way to start building a community. That's it for today. We'll see you in the next episode.